It's that time. It is 9:30. Time for, what is today? January 12th edition of our weekly meeting. But we can't get started. What the hell happened to my... There it is. She stole it. Hit it.
She's slow.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Josh. She comes up to me. She goes, "Can I hit the gong?" She did a great job. All right, so for our on-time drawing, which we can't get started without. We have 15 with how many blanks? Only one blank. You guys think you're so slick. And the number is? 11. Millie! What does Millie get?
Awesome.
She gets an Epic Cup, a American Home Sheet. What else? Oh, and a one shirt.
Yay.
Congratulations, Millie. Welcome back.
You pay lunch for everybody if you didn't know. You didn't always pay.
Whoever is number 5 has to pay for lunch.
Thank God for me.
It's a blame. All right. We have some announcements. Make sure that you take some pictures during the meeting. And then at the end of the meeting, check in on Facebook. Check in at the Realty One Group Southwest. Not the private group, but public. Make sure that you use these hashtags. Make sure you take pictures of me. All right, so I know you guys think I'm like wildly funny and wildly entertaining, right?
No. Yes. Come
But I thought we'd have something a little more entertaining, maybe, or maybe not. Oh well, guess not. Maybe next time. All right. For all those writing contracts, who's writing a contract this week? Love it, love it. There's my license number, expiration, rev up training. There's a rev up, what's today? Tomorrow is Friday. So module 2, establishing your brand, developing your farm. That's live at the Summerlin office. All 3 of these are live at the Summerlin office. Module 3, next Wednesday, is your database, your business, and creating your online presence. I will be teaching that at the Summerlin office. And then tomorrow, or a week from tomorrow, the sales cycle and effective client communication. And Jim is the instructor on that one. Office is closed on Monday, which just means that it's not staffed on Monday. I won't be here. I'll be available though if you need me. I want all you out there working though. You know, I get to take it off, but you guys don't.
That's not fair.
That's who said it's not fair? Yeah, figures would be my.
You answer the phone when I call.
I always answer the
days
phone. Well, maybe not. It's a good thing I have caller ID.
You also have the option to block.
I have the option to block.
That's not funny.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Zelle, you can get your commissions by Zelle. If you have any questions on that, don't ask me.
See?
There's flyers over there. It's super easy. I did it. If you're with the bank that has Zelle, it's easy. If you're with a bank that doesn't have Zelle, you just upload their app. It's really easy, really cool. Every Friday, we're having Team Spirit Friday, so wear your favorite team's jersey. I don't know which one I'm wearing tomorrow yet, but I will. And then it's been a few months since we've done this.
Wow.
But on, what is the date? January 27th is the last Friday of every month we do a happy hour. So beverages and snacks will be provided. So sometimes we have as few as 6 or 10, sometimes we have as many as 20 or more.
It's the first one of the year, so
It's
everybody
the
should come.
first one of the year, so we should all be here. You gonna be here, Charity?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Awesome. So Stephanie sends out every Friday hot new listings and open houses. If you want to be included in that, email her. It's got to be there by Thursday by noon. So today by noon if you want to be included in tomorrow's. You want me to answer that for you?
She wants you to break dance, boss.
So, she wants me to break, if
That's
I
it.
break dance, I'll break something.
Yeah, your boss.
So, you know that we do a newsletter every Friday, and this is a new thing that we're doing in the newsletter. It's Pet of the Week. So if you want your pet or pets included in the Pet of the Week, email pictures to Stephanie, and she will include. Do you want to see this week's Pet of the Week?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Of course.
Didn't that want to buy a house? Here's what it says. These are our Miranda's dogs.
So cute.
If she was here, the question I would have for her is, does she get to write off the dog food? Because now that's advertising, right?
They're so cute.
Aren't they?
Or security, she can run them off
Yeah.
for security.
Yeah, there you go.
Great.
So yeah, if you want to be included, I'm including Kobe for next week.
Get a picture.
I thought that was gonna be him right there.
What's that?
I thought that was gonna be him right there when you said, who you wanna see?
Well, you were wrong, you weren't him. No, the first time you're wrong. All right, Charity.
Wow, that went fast.
I'm fast. I'm fast.
Time management.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Charity Bond, for those of you that don't know me. I am the Epic Loan Officer. So, I don't have a lot that's really new, but the couple things I just want to talk about is, does everybody know the new FHA loan limit for Clark County?
472 plus.
470.
472 plus.
Actually, no, Clark County, Nevada is 494.5.
Wow.
So in Clark County, so yes, as the FHA, we did, I'm trying to get new flyers done, but by the time the marketing gets it done, it's probably gonna be 2024, so, I'm still waiting on those, but Clark County actually went up to 494.5, so that's not all of Nevada, so like if you're doing something in Nye County or something like that, you're gonna wanna check your limits. Generally speaking, 472 is the average, but, since Mark Wahlberg's making us the next Hollywood, I guess we get LA pricing. So that is one thing, 494.5, and like I said, I did share it on the website, on the Facebook post, but I'll try to keep reposting it. Really not too much going on. I don't know if anybody heard, the feds came out, said that they were going to
Scared me.
not lower the rates. Yeah.
But they're not raising them either.
But they're not raising them. But so this is a really neat thing. I mean, yes, I will be honest with you, I'm not very smart when it comes to stock market-y stuff, actually math in general. Don't ask me how I did the mortgage business for 30 years. But I did recently come across a new it's not new, but I just recently found it, calling Housing Wire Daily. It's free, you just go to your Apple or whatever podcast things you listen to. It's called Housing Wire Daily. And today's talk, I was listening to it on the way here, is actually a little bit interesting. So obviously we know rates are not gonna come down too much, but this gentleman was comparing, we keep going back to what we know in our current time, frame, is 2008, 2007, like that's where, oh my gosh, the sky's falling. Media is always gonna have the sky falling because if it bleeds, it leads. So the thing that this gentleman made, which I was born in 74, so I don't remember what happened in 74, but in 74 and 75 and 80 and 81, it was more similar to what we're dealing with in the market. And so he said that the bond market is actually on track and they're not necessarily gonna follow the Fed's leads, which means we should still see rates come into the high fives this year. However, he made a comment that the Federal Reserve is stuck in 1974.
Hmm.
So the way they're dealing with stuff like that. So it was it was a lot of terms. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna get up here and act like I'm really smart or something. I'm not.
Like you're good at loans.
Yeah, street smart maybe, but not like when he was talking. I mean, I do get what he's saying, but it is interesting to listen to these kind of things because when you're overcoming that thing with your buyers, because we're offering, and I didn't make enough for everybody. I'm just gonna leave these out there, but we're offering free refinances for the next 5 years if they close before March 31st of this year. So if rates go down, we're gonna refi them. All they have to do is make 6 payments, and the rate has to go down by at least a half. So yeah, so they can keep doing that until they get to the rate that they're going to do. So that is one thing to talk about. I mean, in terms of programs, everything's still the same, you know. Nothing's really new and exciting in terms of the market. Rates did have a little bit of an improvement today. We're sitting about 6.125 for the national average. That's gonna depend on loan to value, credit score, and loan program. Any questions or anything you guys want me to talk about? Like, I mean, we probably will start getting classes going and we can do like specific loan programs, but if you guys have anything, please email me or text me. Hey, next week I want you guys to talk about this, I heard this. Morgan and I just talked about, you know, one and it looks like it's a specific thing to someone else. It's not general for the market. So if you guys find things out in the market, please let me know and I'll research it and get back to you guys.
So Charity is our in-house lender now. She does split her time between Summerlin and Southwest. However, if you have a buyer that you're meeting with, reach out to Charity, and even if she's not here that particular day, maybe she could be here.
Oh,
or
yeah,
maybe
definitely.
You can meet your buyer at the Summerlin.
Because that's what I'm doing
office.
right now. Like, I have to run over to Summerlin and then I'm gonna come back over here. But that's the thing, if you guys have clients that are coming in, open houses, anything like that, let me know. Because a lot of times I'm just floating wherever, you know, wherever I kind of went to the last meeting, and then I'll just finish out my time there instead of packing up and coming back over. So, yeah, if you guys are meeting with clients, I am available nights and weekends. Not this weekend. I'm sorry, I've been sick for a while and I have not seen my 94-year-old grandfather, and I usually go out once a month. And he's in California getting flooded. He's in the Central Valley, so I need to make sure that he's not like floating down a river somewhere. So not this weekend, but any other weekend, yeah, definitely nights, weekends. And I always have my laptop with me, even when I travel. Don't tell my husband.
USDA loans, you do that?
Huh?
USDA loans, you do
Yes,
that?
we do 'em.
Okay.
The only thing is they have to be specific. In Clark County, I think we have Boulder City, Logandale.
And is that 100%?
It is. And there are income limits. There's 2 different types, so one of them is more income based, but yeah, we definitely offer it.
And you
Yeah,
do-
we offer all of
You
them.
do the construction loan as well as in the USDA?
On the new construction, yeah, but generally speaking, the builder's gonna make you use their lender.
But not if you get your own builder.
Oh, I don't know if we do that then. That's because that's a construction or perm loan, that's separate. So
Okay.
I'd have to check into if USDA is offering a construction or perm.
I saw it, so I wanna know if you guys use it.
Yeah, I'll look into that because I don't know if we do either. We
Okay.
do a lot of construction or perm.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Charity?
No?
All
Okay,
right.
and I'm gonna just put flyers out there if you want them, just take them.
All right, Tony, what is going on with home warranties? How are you? Good, good.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
New Year. It's the first time I've been here this year. So just so you know, we have a lot of things changing in our company. We have new leadership, so you know what that means. So, there's been some shifts in my territory, but I still have this
I thought
office.
she said there's been some shit.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you, Mark. Anyway, when it's all positive, it's all for the good. We're really working on getting our service, because I can stand up here all day and sell the company, but I need them to do what they need to do on the back end and help us with service. So they are, and I did find out a couple things yesterday that I didn't even know, that we're the only company that does make sure that all of our vendors have a background check. And that's a big deal when you have somebody coming in your home. It's a very, very big deal. So, you know, we learned something even though I've been doing it for so long, or maybe I knew and forgot, which is very possible. So I can't find my keys, so yeah, that's very possible. But just to remind you how important it is to offer the warranty to your buyers and sellers. You want to make sure to protect them. The average cost of a water heater right now to replace is $1,700 because of the supply chain, and everything, as you know, has gone up. I mean, I went to Home Depot the other day and I couldn't even believe, the simplest things, how expensive they are, like little things for your landscape, the little plug. I mean, I was like, wow. So when people are moving into a house new, there's so many things they need to get. Even if they buy a resale, they still want to do things to the house. They don't usually just move in and they want to paint or do this and that. So any unexpected repair could be devastating to them. So make sure that you offer that to them. We offer with our Shield Complete a rekey. So when they move in, they can get their house rekeyed. We have a welcome call. They get a welcome call so that they know exactly what they got, what's included in it. So there's so many benefits to our company and me, and knowing that I'm there to help fight your battles for you. That's what I'm here for. So don't wait and say, oh no, I don't want it. Please let me know if you hear something, the sooner the better, so that I can nip it and get on it right away. Because I have a team of people in Resolution that I can reach out to that follow up and get to the bottom of things. So I appreciate each and every one of you. You and Green Valley are the top in warranties. Believe it, honestly, like 2 warranties different between you and.
You know why? Because Southwest is best.
Yes. But I'm saying, over Summerlin, which is that the biggest office, Summerlin? So just saying, you guys, you rock. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to having a wonderful 2023 with you all. Thank you.
All right, we have Jocelyn, our gonger from Rock Title.
I have a photo now, it's not just a picture. Hi everybody, I'm not going to take too much of your time today. I just really want to plug that we have our Rock University class today on selling luxury. It's going to be at 12 p.m. We are going to be streaming it in this room at 12 p.m. You guys could join, that'd be great. Increase your profits by increasing your average sales price. And then also, we don't have any escrow officers here today, but we do have them down the street down at Russell, and I will be back at that office I used to be at Emily's. That's all I got for you guys today.
So she's always here to help out, answer questions, help with marketing, and here's your escrow officers here, Brad, Laura, and Deborah. And their cards are up front as well. All right, any questions for Jocelyn?
I just left.
See?
All right, stats by Emily. So here we are with our stats. Almost 7,800 active listings. Our month's inventory, I use this one a lot, is 4.4. We post this in our social media as well as it'll be in the newsletter, but let's take a look how it's changed from last week. So here's last week, 7,806. So we went down a little bit in listings. Last week was a 4.3 months inventory, so we went up a little bit. But it's pretty stable. Medium days on market 75 or 74, so it's close. But again, our job is to educate you so that you can go out and educate your buyers and sellers. So this is good information. We're going to start providing. We're going to start doing the stats a little different. Probably a little more stats for you that we could dig down into a little more. So hopefully next week we'll start doing that. All right, any question on stats?
So is that so good for 1 month? What is that?
166.
Yeah, for the last 30 days.
30 days?
Yep. That number used to be like 3,500, 4,000. So, the market has changed. Clearly the market has changed. However, inventory has come down a little bit. It's still high enough where you're not going to compete against 10 or more offers for your buyers. And as Charity said, interest rates are starting to come down as well. So it's actually a good time. It's a good time to be a buyer right now. It's a good time to be a buyer's agent as well. So there's even if there's 1,666 sales, there's 2 sides to every sale, right? So there's 3,200 clients, you know, just go out and get your little piece of that. You know, you could make, you know, just close 2 transactions a month. 2 transactions a month. You can make well over $200,000 just 2 transactions a month. Who can do that? Angel, you can't do that?
Yes, he can.
All right, now you're not here to hear me talk. We want to hear Vicky. What's going on, Vicky? Vicky was here several months ago talking about LLCs, and she's agreed to come back. We need to cheer for you.
No, I'm good today.
You good?
I'm
All
good,
right.
yes. How are you?
Welcome.
Thanks, Mark. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I want to start by saying to everybody in this room, give yourself an applause for still being here and still being a licensed realtor. Because what these numbers that you guys were just talking about was showing is how they're trying to get realtors out of the market. Because even though there was, he said 6,000 transactions, there's 17,000 licensed realtors right now. And they're projecting by the end of this year, it's gonna be down to about 10. So one of the things that I am here to talk about is an LLC, but also more than that is how you can add value through us to your clients to make you stand out to your potential buyers and sellers that you're gonna be working with. So I'll talk about the LLCs real quick, because I noticed some of you guys were probably here last time, but how many of the realtors in here today actually have LLCs that they're running their business under? Okay, about half. And one of the things that's keeping you guys going is that you're actually running your real estate license as a business. Okay, Mark is running a business here, I'm running a business. The people that have LLCs are running a business. The people that are running their business as a sole proprietor, which is what you're defaulting into if you're not an LLC, is actually costing you money and you don't even know that. And so when you have an LLC, and we have it broken down for you guys on here, if you wanna follow along, and I'm just gonna go over it real quickly, and just, if anybody is interested in getting an LLC, we can help you with that. It's a great time of the year to do it. If you make over $40,000 a year in a 1099, an LLC S-Corp will severely save you money at the end of the year. And that's because there's a thing called self-employment tax. Does anybody know what that is? Your FICA, your Medicare. You have to pay that at a rate of 15.3% off the top of your 1099, no matter what. So if you just do your 2 deals, like Mark was suggesting, and you're gonna make $200,000 this year, and you're an LLC S-Corp, you will save $27,000 in taxes, just to give you an idea. And how that works is when you're a sole proprietor, you're taxed as a disregarded entity, and you have to pay that 15.3% off the top of your 1099. The difference between my business and your business is nobody really 1099s me. If you guys come and set up an LLC and it's 2,000 or 3,000 or whatever it is, you're not giving me a 1099, but your broker is giving you a 1099, and there is no way around reporting that income. So you don't get the deductions. When you're a sole proprietor, there's no protection of your personal assets or your personal credit if a lawsuit is filed against you. So right now, even if you're not making that $40,000 and you're not gonna save that much money, still running your business as a professional limited liability company will protect your credit if the event that somebody actually does sue you for something. You're gonna pay the full self-employment taxes, and you're not gonna get any distributions, and basically you're exposing yourself to a whole bunch of issues. Now, even if you don't make the 40,000, you can still get the benefits. How many of the people that have LLCs actually have a 401k set up for themselves through their LLC? Okay, so now we just dropped from half the people in this room that have LLCs to half of them that know exactly what I'm talking about. When you become an LLC, which is the middle one, you get all the protection of the limited liability company, but you don't get the tax benefit. The column over here is an LLC S-Corp. The S-Corp is a tax status classification that you get from the IRS by filing an additional form. And that form allows you, and I'm gonna talk about myself, for example. I'm an LLC S-Corp, and I am literally on payroll as an employee to my own company. And I'm assuming that the people that were saying yes, they know that. I go through ADP, I pay them $64 a month, and I get to, as the employer, offer myself all kinds of benefits that if you've ever had a regular job as an employee, you get. I offer myself a 401k. And so even though I'm on a reasonable salary of $40,000, and I make way more than that, but we'll talk about what happens to the additional income in a second, I go on salary for $40,000, which is $3,333 a month, okay? And out of that, because of my age and because of what that amount is, I'm allowed to put $26,000 a year off of that 40 without paying taxes into my own IRA, okay? My company, who actually is me, can also match it, okay? So I can put $52,000 a year away into a retirement for myself without having to pay taxes on it. Meanwhile, if you're still making that $200,000, you're paying all that money to the government. Why not give it to yourself? And if you're not making that kind of money, you can put $1,000. You can do whatever you want. How many that actually have the LLC SCORP have health insurance that goes through it? 100% deductible. 100% deductible. And guess what?
I deduct it on my income tax.
Yes, you deduct that, you deduct all of your deductibles, everything, and guess what? If you have family, as the employer, you can also offer those benefits to you to cover your family as well. So there's so many benefits to this that it's, even if you're not making the $40,000, if you're not making the $40,000, you're gonna pay the FICA on that $40,000, and maybe the LLC S-Corp wouldn't be beneficial, but why not give yourself a retirement plan? Why not give yourself the benefits? But most importantly, stand out from the rest and be a business owner. Right now, realtors, and that's why so many are not successful, because they're not running it as a business. They're doing it more like a side hustle. They have day jobs. How many realtors now have left the full-time practice of real estate and went and got jobs because they're freaking out? All you need is 2 sales a month. What kind of work does that put into it? Maybe 10, 15 hours? So how do you get the clients? And that's where we're gonna talk about the value add. That's why we brought Nikki, that's why we brought David, and they're gonna talk to you about that. But if anybody's actually interested in an LLC, I can help you with that. One of the things that I add you as a value is if your clients are buying rental properties, those properties should be in LLCs because they have liability to their personal assets if somebody slips and falls. So if you have a client that's an investor and they want an LLC, I will give them a free consultation and help them with you to make you stand out, right? Another thing that we can offer them is if they are trying to get zoning, let's say you have a commercial. I don't know if anybody in here does commercial. Does anybody do commercial in here? Okay, so we also do zoning variances for them. We do all of their licensing, all of their health department stuff. So anything that you have a client that is looking to buy something that needs to do something with business, we can help them with that. Then I brought David Kohlmeyer. He's the problem solver. He actually is gonna talk to you in a second, but he offers like your clients free help with speeding tickets, free help with legal advice. Like as realtors, your clients are calling you in the middle of the night, right? You can't answer how they should hold their houses in title, right? You can't do any of that. That's what Nikki's gonna talk about. And so between the three of us, we offer you a value add. So all the clients that you've had for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years, those are actually your best resources. I'm gonna give you a personal example of this. If you can't find a buyer right now, they're saying in this housing market, the people that are really selling are the people that are getting divorced, are the people that have had spouses die, that have had really, really terrible things happen in their life, and those are the people that are trying to move in this market when it's changing and fluctuating. If you were to just give a call to the clients you've had for the past 5 years and spend 5 hours a week, 1 hour a day, just being intentional on your business, and you call them up and say, hey, I just was calling to check up on you, I know it's a new year, Are you happy with your home? Have you ever put it into a living trust? I just met this lady who's gonna give you a free consultation. It's a way of getting on the phone and talking to the people that you're afraid to call back, that were already the people that you made commissions on. They might have somebody that they know that needs you, and they just don't think about you because you're not in their face. And so another thing that Nikki offers is she'll help you put together your listserv and help you send out emails to your clients and build that for you. So I'm gonna pass it over to David for a minute, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Nikki. And if anybody really does need any help with LLCs, this is the best time of the year to get it, because Mark, when he pays you through Zelle, will start paying you through your LLC. Now, keep in mind, if you guys decide to do this yourself without the help of a professional, you have to name your LLC the way it is listed on your real estate license. You don't have a choice. So my name is Vicky Greco. My LLC, if I was going to do real estate, needs to be Vicky Greco LLC. And then you get the paperwork, and then there's one more step where you have to go down to the real estate division. You file an M40, it's $20, and they convert your license into an LLC license for you. So if you're doing this yourself, just make sure you do it in the right name, because I can't tell you how many realtors come in and change it. You can't put your husband on it. You can't put anybody else on this LLC if it's for real estate purposes. It has to just be you. You can do other things underneath it and get DBAs and stuff like that and run your other side hustles through it as well, but the real estate LLC needs to be in that name. And then Mark will cut the check directly to your LLC and give you a 1099 at the end of the year. This is the best time of the year to do it because you're at the beginning of the year and you can set all of that up. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Out of the three, you want to tell us that the LLC SCORP is the best?
LLC SCORP is the best, yes, yes. And you can talk to some of your colleagues in here that have them and confirm that with them, and they'll tell you. If you've made over $40,000 this year in commissions, when you go to see your CPA to do your taxes, ask him. He'll tell you the same thing. And the only downfall to having it if you make less than 40 is that you're gonna pay an extra $300 to $500 a year for that tax return. But it's still a write-off anyway, so I recommend everybody be an LLC S-Corp, but you really see the benefits after 40,000. If you're gonna do an IRA or your own retirement plan, you'll see the benefits immediately, even if you're under 40,000. Because if you were to put that max of the 26,000 in, you're only gonna pay FICA on the 10. Yeah, and you'll save way more money that way.
And if you make more than 60,000, you can put it on Roth IRA
Yes.
and simple IRA.
Yes, yes, and we have the people that do all of this that we put you, I don't do financial advising, but yes, that's, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. I don't know why they don't teach this to you in real estate school.
I have a question. I'm a brand new agent. I just went to the litigation last week to get my real estate license. When will be the best time for me to get?
Okay, so one of the things that I didn't talk about, and I'll talk about because you brought it up, how many of the non-LLCs have their actual Nevada state business license in here? Okay, well, Mark is gonna tell you and he's gonna be like, yes. Back in December, they sent a letter out to all the real estate agents saying that if you don't have one, they're gonna start fining you between $1,000 and $10,000. And I'm telling you, expect that to happen sooner than later because they're trying to get you out of the market, okay? So for you, as a brand new, I know you don't know how much you're gonna make, but this state business license is $200. An LLC is $425. Why wouldn't you just set yourself up the right way for success from the beginning? Yeah.
So Vicki, are you saying if you have your LLC,
It
you
comes
don't
with it.
need your state business
The
license?
LLC comes with it. So the LLC is $425 at the Secretary of State, $200 is the business license, and $225 is the LLC articles. Yeah.
So what happens if you already have the business license and you switch into the LLC?
So if you already have the business license, you'll have to dissolve the business license because when you go in to get that same name for the LLC, it won't be available. So you dissolve it at the Secretary of State level and then you file the LLC the same day.
So Vicky, if I come to you to get the LLC, would you do that?
I do all of that, yes. I do everything except take it down to the real estate division for you. I do the LLC, the S-Corp, the EIN, which is your employer identification number. I think I did it for somebody in here if she wants to see how easy it was.
It was amazing, yes,
Yes.
yes.
She actually gave me a number.
Yes, and it's like everybody procrastinates, puts it off, I get it. That's why at the beginning of their, even if you have to save them money and you come in March or April, they can still go back 1 quarter.
And what are your charges?
So the Secretary of State is $425, I can't do anything about that. My charges are anywhere from $300 to $675, depending on if you want the whole package. If you want the whole package, it's $675, and that's coming into the office, sitting down, and leaving with everything in your hand. If you do it remotely, it's $100 cheaper, $575 for everything. LLC, state business license, EIN. I'm the registered agent for your LLC for the whole year, which you need one, and also the LLC SCORP filing. It's a 2553 with the IRS. It takes about, half an hour if we don't talk?
Right.
I'm sure
She can
with
do it
her
with
into
her
the
eyes.
law.
Listen, we became friends. She stood me up last night though.
I know. I gotta work.
I know. Any other questions? If not, okay.
So because I noticed when we do a LLC SCORP, we have to pay also with a reasonable salary. So for the tax planning on that stuff, like, do we get any support about like how should we do it by ourselves, or we should hire a tax return?
I refer you to a CPA that has worked with realtors in the past that is very, very good. He refers me probably 20% of my clients of realtors that come to him that don't have it. And so we work back and forth. I don't personally use him because he specializes in real estate. But like I said, once again, it can either be literally or figuratively. You don't actually really need to go on payroll. If you have a good accountant, they can handle that and pay quarterlies for you. But if you want the Roth and the SEPs and all of that other benefit, then you probably want to go through a company that does all of that for you. And then you pick where your money is. Mine's just in the money market right now because the market is crazy. It's just sitting there waiting for me to decide what I want to do with it.
So if I just do the LLC S-Corp, just basic now, can I change it anytime to have it like going towards the retirement?
Yes,
fund?
yes.
Is there a time or
No,
any time?
anytime.
Okay.
You can, like, that would just be figuratively, you're on payroll and your accountant at the end of the year would do those deductions, but if you wanna do it literally, like, I like to pay my taxes monthly, cause I don't wanna pay $5,000 or $10,000 at the end of the year, so I just go through and pay it $64 a month.
Nice.
You don't actually even have to cut yourself the check back for the payroll, you can just pay your taxes and they take care of it. Any other questions?
Where's your office?
Flamingo and 215, right up the street. Do you know where Knockby is?
Yeah.
Right there, in the building catty corner to him. And then we also have some flyers over here, some bookmarks, some business cards, everything if you guys want. But one other thing is, I don't know how many of you guys are active on social media, and I heard Mark talking about tag it on Facebook. You'll see that we all give you our QR codes, and if you scan our QR codes, you'll also be able to network with us and talk. You know, we're like the network queens and kings in this town. We have like so many different networking events going on where you can go out and meet people, and I can't tell you how many clients you can meet just organically, just by being present and being intentional with your business.
I'm gonna make the next one, I promise.
I'm telling you.
I promise.
All right, I'm gonna pass it to Dave.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you. We do have some cute bookmarks if anybody reads over here.
Hey guys, I'm Dave Kohlmeyer. How many of you guys, I was here a few months ago. How many of you guys have seen me before? Do they look familiar at all or no?
Oh, thank you, sorry.
Okay. So I'm literally gonna be 2 minutes, it'll be really quick. So I'm Dave Kohlmeyer, I happen to be a retired police officer from Henderson. Hopefully we're pro-police here, if you don't like the police, I'm retired, so it's okay to me. So, I was a cop, I was NYPD for 4 years, worked 9/11. Came out here, was a cop in Henderson for 13 years, did community policing. Taught the DARE program, helped homeless, housing. I basically tried to help people, that was kind of my thing. I didn't really like giving tickets, I didn't like arresting people, honestly. Changes people's lives. I retired about 7 years ago. I worked in several different law firms. And I created something called Las Vegas Legal Network, which is a network of about 25 different attorneys. I basically do the intake of 2 people, figure out what you basically need, what attorney, give you a few different options. There's no fee for my service, but I do work with their attorneys. And the goal is basically to help people. I'm known as the problem solver for the fact that when I was a cop, I used to help people with problems. I still do that today. I also have a TV show on Channel 14, which is Cox Cable, Tuesdays at 6, called the problem solver, where I basically talk about different problems. Like right now, a lot of people getting killed with DUIs, and now you have these new marijuana lounges that are opening up, and whether that's going to increase, people driving intoxicated or under controlled substance. Talk about different problems, and we try to be a little bit fun and engaging on the show these days. But my goal is to help you guys in general for a few different things. Now, what I just passed around is, it's kind of a cool thing that's been around, most people don't use it. This is registration insurance holder, okay? So basically, there's a little bit of a pocket here, you can put some stuff in the car. Registration insurance, what I'll share with you is when a cop stops you, these days you probably all have your insurance on your phone. The cop doesn't want to touch your phone. You really need to print it out and have it so you can give it to him, because he doesn't want to touch your phone, he doesn't want any liability, people recording different things. So by having registration insurance together, it's going to help the situation make things easier. Plus you put it in the glove compartment as well. One thing that I basically set up is not that this is going to totally stop the situation, but on the back, it says we support local law enforcement, it says some of the police agencies. If you're really quick to take it out and when you have insurance registration, if you have it out and the cop pulls you over and he sees this, we support it, he may be like, oh, what are you doing? What are you showing me, right? Basically, it's just showing that we support law enforcement. Personally, if I saw this, I would treat you differently, okay? Because I'm like, wow, because no one's really doing this. So if it's basically saying you're pro law enforcement, you may get a break and a warning. So this is what you would kind of show when you got pulled over, right? Then you're gonna open this up, it's gonna say license, registration, insurance, you open it up, he's gonna say, can you take it out? He's not gonna wanna accept this. So you're gonna take out the insurance registration, and then you're gonna basically put this down, give it to him. You never really wanna admit what you're basically doing in general. If a cop says to you, hey, you know why I pulled you over? The truth is the cops are really kind of ignorant, because, I'm not sure if you know, but you know about the murders that took place in Idaho, the 4 college students? The cops pulled the people over, but they said the reason why I pulled you over is because you went through a red light. If I said, do you know why I pulled you over? He may be thinking, yeah, you pulled me over because I just killed 4 people, and now the cop, basically, his life is more in danger. So normally, a good cop would say, the reason why I'm pulling you over is because you went through a red light, you went through a stop sign, you were speeding. They should tell you, and if they ask you the question, you're like, I'm not sure what I did, but whatever I did, I apologize. But you don't want to admit like what you've done, you know what I'm saying, in general. Things have changed now with tickets. It's no longer like a criminal offense on the most part, 95% of tickets. There was 35,000 people on warrants because it was criminal, and now everything became civil. They quashed all these warrants out there. So it's more about a fine, civil fines, and money in general. So things have changed in regards to tickets, but DUI, reckless driving, major things basically are still criminal. You could have a warrant and so on, but you still want to take care of the ticket. One of the things we're doing is, with the legal network, if you go to LVLN.Vegas, it is a progressive web app. You can actually go to legal issues, traffic ticket, upload your ticket. You're gonna say that you're a realtor, and basically a lawyer will handle it for free in regards to legal representation. Doesn't mean that if there's a fee and so on, the goal is basically to make sure you don't have any points, maybe there's no traffic school, whatever the situation may be. Once you upload the ticket, an attorney will give you a call and basically talk to you and tell you what your options are in general. So, also anything, if you need a real estate attorney, personal injury, car accidents, whatever you basically need, criminal defense, not that anybody needs that, you would, right? But whatever lawyer you need, we have a network to do that. Also, you have me, which is basically free access. I literally don't sleep 24 hours a day. I got 3 babies. So if you have a problem, question, neighbor problems, dog barking, whatever it is, I love to be very creative to kind of help solve that problem, whether it's for your client or basically for you. It's just something that I just always enjoy doing in general. So again, the legal network is to help people. The toll-free number is 1-844-LAWYERS. It's a nationwide number, but basically at this point in time, it's just in Vegas. I have a bunch of cards which I'll hand out as well. Again, this when you scan the QR code, there's an app. You can just add it to your home screen. Do you guys know how that works? You don't have to go to the App Store. You just click on the bottom, you add it, and it's going to show up LVLN. And basically, if you ever need something, you can click on it, you can call, and so on. The office is downtown on 4th Street as well, and I'll kind of hand out some cards. Any questions for me whatsoever?
Can I use your name if I get pulled over?
So, if there's a cop that disliked me, that'd probably be bad. So,
But everybody likes David.
Well, I always laugh because cops are like alpha males, a bunch of German shepherds. So you have some German shepherds that play nice and some don't. So there's some cops that I work with that probably love me and some hate me. But the bottom line is there's so many cops out there, no one's gonna remember. They're all new cops anyway, I mean, but it's a good question. The truth is,
Get pulled over.
the truth is this, if you get pulled over, the bottom line is just accept them, don't argue with the guy, it's not worth it. Just take it, we're gonna help you anyway, so it's just not worth it. Luckily these days, honestly, that it's not going into warrant because it does affect a lot of people's lives. People go to jail, car gets towed, they got kids, they wind up losing their jobs. So on a whole, I believe for society it's better that it's not criminal. The problem is I'm just a little bit afraid, are people gonna be driving more recklessly now that it's not like a criminal offense or the increase of substantial bodily harm and death taking place in the community, will that go up? And we don't really fully know.
Okay,
You know.
seriously. So, they did squash the warrant, so is that hitting your credit report or is that going to the DMV?
So if it's a criminal offense, it's just the courts that the
You asking for a
cops.
friend?
Yes. Thank you, Mark.
For criminal stuff like that, it's just that you won't get arrested, your car won't get towed. So if you base have a ticket, it'll just be collections and money. It's just civil. I don't think it's gonna affect credit, that's a really good question.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna affect credit in general. I haven't heard that question, so it's a good one. I can't imagine it going there. You're gonna wind up owing money, then maybe if you wanna register a car or something,
Yeah.
they're gonna say, hey, you owe money, you have to pay that money in order to basically maybe register the car again or something like that. It's totally new, so people are not even sure what's going on.
And the DMV hasn't even caught up with it yet.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
good thing about it is that it's
Yeah.
gonna help, like, a perfect example, even if you have some clients, most people don't know that they're in warrant. They forgot about the speeding ticket, right?
Right.
So
Through
the
the
truth is,
pandemic.
it affects all of us in society. So I actually think it's good for people in general, but I just hope that it doesn't increase, like, people getting hurt. Any other questions for me? I will share with you, like I said, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can call 844-LAWYER, you're gonna get a live person. I will share with you, the big thing these days, a lot of people get into car accidents and injured. We have several different personal injury attorneys that basically help out. It doesn't cost you any money to have a personal injury attorney, which is really key. A lot of people don't know that. It's contingent upon if they win, right? But if it's a criminal defense or real estate attorney, they will wind up charging money per hour. But we always ask people to be discounted as well. So like I said, if I can help you, let me know. I'll pass on my cards. Please use this. I think it's a great tool. Print out your insurance. Don't use it on the phone. The cop doesn't want to look at your phone. He doesn't want to touch your phone whatsoever. He's afraid of liability purposes. Print it out, have it ready to go. If you get pulled over, just take it out, it's ready to go. The quicker and easier the car stop is for the cop, he's gonna feel better about it, he's gonna feel safe, and then you just don't even talk about it with the cop. Just take whatever he gives you, and then you can upload it here and we'll handle it. It is what it is. Especially you guys, the reason why we do is a lot of realtors are driving all day long, right? You're more likely prone to get into an accident, knock on wood, that doesn't happen to you, and you're more likely to get a ticket because realtors and cops are driving around all day. Who else is driving around all day, like showing homes and people, right? Any other questions at all?
And also something David forgot to mention is he also offers classes to realtors for safety.
Yes.
Okay.
We've done 2 classes. I'm not sure if you guys, I have the realtor list, so basically every 2 weeks I normally email. I think an email actually went out today. And I basically do real estate safety classes that when you go into a room, a house, I always laugh because as cops, right, we go in with we have our guns out in general, and then a realtor walks in, they're like walking into every room of a vacant home, not knowing there's a homeless guy, right? There's a way of walking into the room, it's called cutting the pie, just making sure nobody's in the vacant home, instead of just walking in and being a victim. So just a lot of it is building confidence, even, like I said, going to vacant homes. I've gone into vacant homes, not being a police officer, and it's vacant, you're like, wait, do I hear a noise? Do I hear something? And it's kind of scary, right? You walk into these homes, you have no clue where you're going, and some crazy person could be there. Any of you guys had an experience where you walk in and that there's like a homeless guy or anything?
Yeah.
Anything really bad? Squatter, like, it's scary, right?
But I always, when I'm in one, they're like, why are you doing that? For both of our safety, let me do my job, but yeah, it can get very scary.
One safety tip I want to share with you just to make you think. When you go inside with somebody that you don't really fully know that you're showing the home, what I used to do as a cop, I used to live with the door, I used to lock the door so that someone can't totally close like the front door. Do you like close the front door when you're walking in and do you lock it? Do you not want people to come in? I kind of like the fact of, you know what I'm saying, that you don't totally physically close the door, but you lock it so the person can't lock you in, or they don't realize what's going on with the lock here, the door. So there's different ways that you should think about that, depending who you're with, right? If you're with a couple, right, may not be a big deal, but if you're a female and you're with a male, and basically you just feel a little bit nervous, maybe he should walk around the home. You don't need to physically show it and stand in front. Like, why don't you take a quick walk around? So just be careful and go off your instinct and what your tummy tells you.
I just wanted to share, I've lived here my whole life, and I have a friend this actually happened to. She took a couple, and she went upstairs with the guy, and she got raped, true story. And they worked as like a team. I know you think like, why would a girl, but the girl stayed down there, and she walked them up there. So you just have to really listen to that gut, and listen. It changed her whole life. That's, so just be so aware, you guys. I used to sell new homes, and you just have to be so aware and not, sometimes you get that feeling, you gotta trust that feeling.
Absolutely.
So that's all I just want to say.
Yeah,
You just have to be so conscious of everybody, in every
Absolutely.
situation.
And the truth is, a lot of people honestly suffer from mental illness. Even this Idaho guy, You know, he was studying criminology, he was a young guy, and I mean, he went psycho. You know, a lot of people suffer from mental illness, especially with COVID. People were home more, weren't getting mental health, you know? So the guy or girl that looks normal is the one that I'd be more concerned about. It may not even be like the homeless person on the streets, so just be careful, you know?
Really fast, where do you post your classes?
You know, I do send it. Do any of you guys get Las Vegas Legal Network? You get the email at all where I have different events and luncheons? Have you seen it before? It should come from Las Vegas Legal Network. I think the one went out today. Normally, we'll probably do another real estate safety in a few weeks, but you should get it. If you're a realtor, I have the list in general. Have you been a realtor for a while or a little?
About 18 years.
18 years. So hopefully, 18. So hopefully you're on the list.
And I always post them for him also on my socials, on Instagram or Facebook, so just scan the QR codes, yeah. Pardon? Or, yeah, and my QR codes are on here too.
If you,
I have it in my phone.
Yeah.
if you scan the QR code and the app is on your phone, when we do notifications, you'll get notified of classes and different things going on, but you should definitely get emails in general. I got one question for you guys in general, and this is probably a good question, because a lot of realtors, I love marketing and I love all that stuff. How many people have Cox Cable? Raise your hand. Cox Cable.
I didn't get your email.
I'm gonna give you my card. So wait, 1, 2, raise your hand one more time. Cox Cable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Because a lot of people say to themselves, like radio advertising today, right? Radio, TV, like it's changing. People say people don't have TV anymore. Well, my wife wanted to save some money. She got rid of Cox Cable. How many of you guys watch Channel 14? Raise your hand. Would you even know what Channel 14 is? Which is your view, Cox Cable. Nobody, okay. Well, it's interesting because my show is Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Up to 300,000 people have Cox Cable. The question is, sometimes you just don't know who's watching the show in general. It can be 100 people, 50 people, you just don't really know. But things are changing, and when we spend advertising dollars, right, even as a realtor, like, where do you spend the money, right? Do you do radio, do you do TV, do you do networking, you know? And that's the hard part that everybody has, right? Everyone's looking for that golden tool. So I just wanted to see, you know, Cox Cable, you know, we have so many different channels. How many channels are out there, and whether people getting rid of Cox Cable in general, so I just wanted to just double check with you guys. But anyway, if I can help, let me know. I'll pass on my card. You're never bothering me whatsoever. I love when people call me. I love helping people. So I'm for free service when I use it. Last question, go ahead.
One more question. So if I have a client that got a ticket and sent it to you.
Yeah.
How much would it cost?
Basically, we're doing it free as a free service. But basically, just, you can say your name, that you're a realtor. So if you have a client, you want to create a little bit of a value, you can basically have clients do it as well. Say, hey, I know a retired police officer, he has a Las Vegas Legal Network, and you can basically have them upload the ticket as well, and someone will call them. But what I would say to them is just to show value to you guys, hey, mention my name, that I'm a realtor that referred you, and they'll take care of it for free, as long as it's a local ticket. Cool? Thank you so much for allowing me guys to speak. Okay, please be safe, and I'll keep in touch with you guys. Thanks so much. On the way out, if you need more cards or more registration insurance, hold just grab one big.
Good morning, everybody. I don't know if you guys saw me last time I was here. My information is on the back of the flyer. So my name is Nikki, and just to let you guys know a little bit about me, I am a licensed document preparer and paralegal. So I work for one of the top tier estate planning law firms in Las Vegas, and started to venture out on my own and do my own business. I'm governed by the Nevada State Bar, and I have all of the same softwares and tools that the law firms use, but your clients will pay a fraction of the price. So you guys being realtors, you guys should understand what probate means. And like Vicki was mentioning before, the value adds of being able to reach out to your clients. A lot of times you might not understand what's going on with them, but just being a friendly person and saying, hi, how are you? How are things? A lot of things right now that my clients are going through are they're having to sell their home because they're the caretaker of their spouse. Their spouse is having to go into assisted living facility. They have to sell the home in order to pay for things. They're moving in with their children. So these are just a lot of different reasons why being able to keep that rapport with your clients is helpful. So I offer estate planning. So that means a whole package of documents. It's not just, oh, here's a will, here's a power of attorney, here's a healthcare directive. And I get a lot of people who say, oh, I already have all that. Okay, when was it drafted? How was it drafted? A lot of my clients go to Staples. Oh, I got a trust. If it's 7 pages long, we've got issues. Because if you are wanting to protect family members or your clients are wanting to protect people, you need a properly drafted document. If it's not properly drafted, it has to go before a court. The court has to make a decision. So having a properly drafted estate plan is going to prevent all of that, because if any of you guys have ever suffered any family emergency, the last thing you want to be worrying about is, oh my goodness, can I pay the bills? What do I need to do? Where are these documents? Do I have legal authority to speak on their behalf? Everything is done and taken care of. Imagine if they didn't have that. Now you have to wait for a judge to actually appoint somebody, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be you. It's whoever looks good on paper. Okay, so probate is something you guys are very familiar with, because unfortunately in Las Vegas, we only have one probate judge that resides all over Clark County. He's in no hurry. To his opinion, they're dead. So why hurry? So a probate process is anything over $25,000 is a small probate. So if they have $50,000 sitting in a bank account right now, the bank freezes it immediately, and a judge has to appoint somebody to be an executor over the estate to then remove the money. Meanwhile, bills are piling up, their remains are sitting somewhere because they can't pay for services, because the accounts are frozen. So these are reasons why they want to have proper estate planning in place. If you have a home that's sitting in probate, it can go anywhere from, right now, the shortest amount of time is about 9 to 10 months to 3 years. And they're just now starting to get caught up on pre-COVID cases. So they're just so backlogged right now. So right now you've got a whole bunch of homes that are just sitting there right now. So now if clients have properly drafted plans and somebody passes away, no problem. They have trustees. They can sign over, sell the property, house is back on the market. Makes things a lot smoother that way. So when you go through a court process of probate, you have appraisers, you have the realtors, everybody gets their pie. I'm sure all of you guys have heard of Tony Shea.
Yes.
Okay, well, his wonderful family of what's going on right now. The man was worth billions of dollars and did not have an estate plan.
Wow.
So what happened? He passes.
Oh, the guy that passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And what happened was his brother and his father were appointed by the judge to be able to be executors of his estate. Who was selling him illegal narcotic drugs? His brother. Who put in a claim against his estate for over $8 million? His brother. So creditors will come out of the woodwork and say, oh, that person owed me money. Medical bills will get paid. Credit card bills will get paid because they are dead. And by law, the company that puts in the claim, the judge is gonna look at it and pay it. So by the time probate is done, you've got appraisers, you've got attorneys, you've got court fees, you've got the creditors, everything gets paid out of the estate, and whatever's left over, that will be split between the family. So you're looking anywhere from 40 to 60% of somebody's estate gone to pointlessness. So having properly drafted plans comes in handy. So it works for all stages. It's not just, oh, it's for the older people. No, that's not it. Also works for younger children, or for younger kids, or parents that have younger kids. So if something happens to mom and dad, what happens to the kids? They just lost mom and dad. Do you think uprooting them out of their home is the best idea? Pulling them from school, you're disrupting their life. Having a plan in place allows for you to make decisions on if that person comes to stay with them, lets them finish out the school year, gets them comfortable, keeps the house in trust until they remain adults, and then they can make decisions. There's so many different options that they have to be able to do things. And then when you look at the older side of things with older clients, unfortunately, that's where family comes out of the woodwork and deems them incapacitated, puts them into homes and sells everything and steals from them. So there's just so many different ways that estate planning can come in handy.
Right.
So if you guys have any questions about estate planning, I'd love to be able to answer them for you. I've also provided some realtors before with like little flyers, so they can send a personal email out and just say, hey, if you guys haven't thought about doing an estate plan, if you want to protect this house that you just bought, because anything over $100,000, that's going through main probate. Then you could just say, here's her information, I give free consultations, and the other thing is, I go to them, which makes their life so much easier, so they're not having to stop and schedule and worry about babysitters for the kids. I go to them and I handle everything for them, and we sit down and decide what they each individually need. And then if they have minor children, we do minor plans as well, which are the emergency documents for them as a power of attorney and healthcare directive. So if anything were to happen to them, the kids will have their named agents that can just step into play until we decide what's going on with mom and dad. Are they in the hospital? Have they passed? Incapacitated? So we do a whole range of planning, so.
And one thing that, she didn't mention that really is a huge value add, how many of your clients ask you how they should hold the home in title? And what is your answer? Don't answer it out loud, but if you're answering them, that's a reason to get sued, by the way. Nikki can actually answer that for them and explain that to them, and she will do that for free. She gives them free consultations.
This is a good follow-up piece.
Yeah, it's, the one thing is when when I pull the deeds and I see that they're holding title as joint tenants, I just shake my head. Because joint tenants means you and I bought a house together, we're friends, we're not. If I die, 50% of my portion of that house is going through probate.
Can I have this before I buy?
Yes, most definitely. Because then when you're going through and you're selling or you're buying the home, they'll ask you how you want to hold title. I have a trust, here's my trust. And they put it in the trust for you, done. And if they don't know how, because sometimes there are a lot of title companies that are just not comfortable with doing it, which is perfectly fine. I tell them, if you're a married couple, hold title as community property with rights of survivorship. Once it's recorded, let me know. I'm gonna come in, pull the deed, we're gonna sign it over into the trust and I go record it for you. So I will help every way that I can.
Will this help with equity or you need a notary?
I have a notary as well. But as far as the equity goes, it doesn't really do too much to the house because you're just changing the title and the ownership of it. It doesn't do anything as far as the equity of the home.
I see.
What is your average fee?
So I charge $2,500. So and that includes everything. So with my plan, it's not just one document. So it's a revocable living trust, it's a last will and testament, it's the financial power of attorney, it's the healthcare directive, it's your last wishes, an asset inventory where we sit down and we go over every single asset that you have, how to protect it and put it into the trust along with recording the deeds. If they are business owners, transferring the ownership of the business into the trust. And then also if there are minor children, the minor children documents as well. So it might seem like it's a lot, but it's a lot of work on my end, so.
What if I have like a life insurance, you'd help me?
Yep, name the trust as the beneficiary so that way you never want financial institutions to dictate what happens to your money. So if you're naming a beneficiary and let's say God forbid that beneficiary is in the hospital or incapacitated, they can't sign the documents. So that means that financial institution is holding on to the money till they are okay. Why do that? Or a lot of people name their children as the beneficiaries. God forbid something happens to mom and dad, that 8-year-old is not getting that policy till they're 18. You want $1 million going to an 18-year-old? That's not very smart. But if you name the trust, your agents can use that money to raise your child with your instructions on how you're wanting them raised and having the money to be able to do so.
And just so you guys know, Nikki was, worked with one of the biggest estate planning law firms in town that charges $10,000 to do what she does for $25,000.
Do you have the yearly charges also, because if somebody hires you for one time and you do it, and then after each year there is some changes in the planning, in the housing, they are buying or selling something, so you have to change accordingly. So do you charge yearly also for that?
Depending on what the changes are that they need. I have a lot of clients where I just done their plan. Right now it's what I'm dealing with right now. Everybody's like, oh, I wanna change my beneficiaries. My kids aren't acting right, they're not gonna be in charge. I don't charge for making minor changes. If you're adding a property, then that's different, I just charge you the recording fee. If you're saying, oh no, I wanna reconstruct my trust, then we're gonna have to talk about an additional fee, which is just an amendment fee. So I usually charge anywhere from $250 to $500. It's never the full fee. But I do reach out to all my clients every 3 years and say, do me a favor, go grab that binder, open it up, take a look at it. Because a lot of clients will tell me, oh, I did my trust 20 years ago. Are you sure that 20 years ago is still what you want right now? Because I know people who can't keep their mind on the set plan for 6 months. 20 years is a long
My
time.
mom takes my sister in and out the trucks like every other couple of years.
And the documents go stale after a while as well. So your power of attorney documents and healthcare documents go stale after a 5 to 10 year period of time as well. So it's always good to just revisit them.
What's
Life
that?
changes and you change.
What's that mean, stale?
Stale means that a financial institution will look at them and say, these are no longer valid because you made this decision 10 years ago. Why should we honor this?
Would it void
Right.
it? What does it
Yes.
matter?
It just means that they won't accept it as a valid person that you want in charge of your assets. You have to look at it as they don't want to be sued. So how do they know that that's really what is needed and necessary? So if these documents were drafted 10, 20 years ago, they're gonna say, okay, I wanna talk to the person who drafted them and get verbal communication that yes, they're okay, sign them a waiver, so that way the bank or the financial institution is not gonna be held responsible, because how do they know that those are relevant documents now? They're 10 years old.
But there's no expiration on them though, right?
3 years.
3 years.
There's someone that was complaining duress, like, oh, I was drunk
So
when I
that-
signed them or something.
You said we have a problem if we have 7 pages, and I do have that binder, but I did it 20 years ago, and the binder took care of all the 6 things that you were talking about. But like you said, it's been in a safe and I don't look at it. So, but you're saying I have to revisit that binder?
Yes, revisit it. Because number one, was that done here in Nevada?
It was.
Okay, great, that's perfect. Then unless you wanted to change anything that's inside of it, you're fine. The only thing you should want to revisit is just updating your power of attorney and healthcare directive. That's it. As long as how you have your instructions inside of your trust as to who the beneficiaries are, who your successor trustee is, so who's gonna be responsible for following all those rules that you've laid out inside of the trust, and how things are gonna be distributed. If all of that is the same, you don't need to touch it. You just need to update your healthcare directive and your financial power of attorney. Everything else should be fine. And another thing is, a lot of people say they have trust. So when I say, okay, did you fund it? What does that mean? Okay, well, you spent how many thousands on this big old beautiful stack of paper, and you don't know what funding your trust means, we're gonna have to sit down and have a discussion. Because if you don't have your accounts put into your trust, or your trust named as a beneficiary, you just spent $4,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 on a very expensive stack of nothing. So that trust is great, but it doesn't mean that it's protecting anything, because now you're opting your agents to have to go to probate court and argue with a judge that yes, they have these documents, and yes, it's 20 years old, and nobody ever told them that they actually need to put assets in it to protect it. So those are very, very important things.
So I currently have a living trust from California, but it's probably 10, 12 years old.
And it's in California law.
Yeah, so if I move here, it's not hard to draft a new living trust.
Yep, because the trust, every state has their own laws and rules and probate procedures. So if you have a California trust and you're no longer a resident of California, even though you might still have a property in California, but you reside here, you're gonna go through double probates with your estate. So it's always good, it doesn't matter, I have clients who have properties all over the United States. That's perfectly fine. It's where you reside and where you pass, that's where your probate is going to start. And then any other additional properties that you have, those states will have probates attached to them if the houses are not put into the trust.
What probate laws do they use if you have multiple properties in states? And then you said it's your primary, like, it's what state you do your taxes from?
Nope, every state
Like,
that
what do
you
they
own a
use?
house in, you're gonna go through, so let's say you have a house in Tennessee, a house in New York, and a house in Florida, you're gonna abide by each one of those states' probate laws. So a probate will be filed in each individual state that you have property in, if it is not properly funded to your trust.
So do you have to have a living trust in all those states?
Nope,
too?
just have the houses put into your trust that you currently have right now, that you reside in the state that you have the trust in, that's all.
So you put all the breakdown of your financial on the
And that helps your agents as well, so if you're incapacitated, they know, okay, I need to pay for additional home care, I need to pay for assisted living facility, I need to pay bills. They have an actual breakdown of what accounts you have and where they are at. And then also when somebody passes away, the mortuary says, okay, how many death certificates do you want? I don't know. Well, if you don't tell them, now they're gonna charge you, I think it's like $5 a death certificate. 25, like, geez.
The first one is $38, and then if you order 10, it's like $250 plus 38.
And now when you have an asset inventory, you know exactly which accounts are gonna need the death certificate in order to close out the accounts. So it just makes it easier, so that way you could say, well, I have 5 life insurance policies I'm gonna have to close out, so I need 6 death certificates.
And just one more thing that Nikki doesn't like to bring up, but I'll bring it up. Nobody likes to talk about death.
Right.
But we're all working so hard and we all get so busy. And just look, 2 kids died of cardiac arrest this week in this town. Everybody always thinks it doesn't happen to me, but if you're working hard and you're trying to do the right thing, and clearly everybody in this room is, because you're at a meeting where I think 90% of the people aren't here that work with you. If you're one of those people that are intentional and really trying to do the right thing, this is a huge value add. Just figure out how to talk to your clients about death, because they're usually buying their home and it's one of the happiest days of their life, but they really don't even understand this stuff.
Do you go out to clients' home?
Yes, I do. I drive all over this city, learn new areas, all places.
I just wanna share one thing real quick. Since I work in, with lawyers all the time, is you always think that the lawyers really do the work, but there's some amazing person like Nikki that's behind the scenes where the lawyer takes credit and charges a lot more money. So she's a wealth of knowledge. She's like a rare person to be out here in Las Vegas helping you guys. So definitely take advantage of it,
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, David. Thank you, Nikki. Great information as always. Real quick, Natasha was asking about what happens when you get pulled over. This is what Natasha does. Can we take a selfie?
No, I don't, I'm not, excuse me, officer.
All right, thank you all very much. Remember, no matter how you slice it, greatness is a choice. Let's go out there and be great agents.
Yay.